In the bustling world of technology and connectivity, one trend stands out, gaining momentum and making waves in the fabric of modern communication. This trend, my dear listeners, is none other than podcasting.
Paranormal podcast from either a hospital, a morgue,
Little places I want to go.
Gettysburg, fucking forest, wherever you tell us, we'll do it.
Lit the whole thing up, pulled the drawer out, laid down, folded your hands like this, and they took a picture in it, in one of the drawers.
But
So I know it's there, I've seen it, but not in person.
I would go for a ghost or something just to pop out and scare the shit out of you. That would make my year.
Across the street, there was an abandoned block. Could never do this today. I ain't coming back here again, you know? We were sitting on the stoop late at night, and we heard something, and we looked back, and there was two of us, and there's the shadow went across, and there's nobody in there.
How do you get into some of the projects?
You've definitely made an impact on a lot of people's lives.
Long and awaited question everybody's been waiting for. Is Pasta Lou going to continue working at the university?
Every glass, baby boy. We've done it.
Cheers.
Cheers to the 10th episode. Hi guys, we're here to tell you something that happened in the podcast with Pasta Lou. Before we put this out there, we were post-editing, and something happened with the lines, if you want to go into detail about that.
So when I was going through and editing the podcast, our sound system did not really turn out to plan, and we had to resort to using our phone audio. So this podcast does sound a little bit different than the others. The sound quality isn't as high quality because it's not through these. But it's still a good episode. Definitely recommend watching till the end. And you're going to figure out what the answer is. So, Cheers. Stay safe out there for everyone doing Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day, and we'll catch you Monday.
Hey guys, welcome back to Just Yakkin. It's been really, really long. This is the first one from school, and it's our 10th one. And let's give a little applause for that. Something really impressive. We made it to 10. So the haters out there who said we wouldn't, we did it. And
Who did that?
TikTokers.
yeah, TikTokers. Actually, we had a clip blow, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm gonna start it off. I'm Justin.
Oh, I'm Rob.
And I'm Jared.
Oh.
I'm Pasta Lou.
Oh, and this has been in the works for months now. It's finally facilitated, and you guys are gonna figure out the answer to your question today. So
Yes.
stay tuned, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button.
Big announcement.
Yes, big announcement coming up. But we're gonna jump right into it. So, Pasta Lou, how was your summer?
It was good. So I work almost every weekend, but we get different groups in. Last weekend was a wedding anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary. They had 75 people. Maybe 40 or 50 of them stayed on the property. Fed them breakfast 2 days, and then they wanted to cater it in. I guess they had a local caterer that they liked. They had sauerkraut and red cabbage. Not anything I mean, I could make it, but nothing I look to eat, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that.
So and it came off without a hitch. It was a good time.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and this is our second chef on the episode.
Yeah, I had mentioned that right before we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, shout out to Zach.
Shout out
Zach.
Zach. Third floor legend, and now we've got the first floor legend
Yeah.
himself.
There you go.
Oh, this is awesome. But
I would like to ask, before, since we're asking questions, you understand how big you are to people around the university?
Sometimes that video we were just talking about before we started, when that hit 80,000 likes.
Yeah.
I totally shocked. I had no idea, and people commenting on it that had graduated 5, 7, 10 years ago. It was
eye-opening.
It was eye-opening. Yeah, it really was. It was revealing as to
19 years you've
Yeah.
worked for the university, correct?
Yeah.
You've definitely been in touch with a lot of people just passing by, and
Yeah.
you've definitely made an impact on a lot of people's lives. And I know a lot of people that are around right now.
Yeah, they're tuning
are
in.
quite excited for this episode.
Nice,
Yeah,
thank you.
I've had people ask me, they're like, yo, wait, it's possible. Is that true? I'm like, how'd you guys know about that?
Rumor got out.
Yeah,
Oh.
rumor got out.
Who spread it?
slightly. Yeah.
There's only 4 possibilities here, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, and we have Kapil back for the 10 episodes, so that's something. So we got Kapil in the background. Thank you, Kapil, for being here.
Thank you.
And yeah, we just recently had a TikTok blow up for one of ours. We had 60,000 views on our.
Really?
Yeah. On our.
And we
on
got
our
1,000
TikTok.
likes on it.
Yeah, 1,000. It just hit, I think, 1,000
Oh my
likes or
God.
something. So I
That's
can't
awesome.
complain. Yeah, and like it's so surreal when you wake up in the morning and you look and you just see like so many people and so many comments.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some hate comments, but I mean, you're gonna get that with anything.
And you know what? That's okay, because that feeds the algorithm too.
Yeah.
It's better than no comments.
That's
at all,
us
right?
all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't complain. So.
Yeah.
But no, like after when we were actually driving somewhere and
Driving to Elk Mountain.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
yeah,
And
and
Justin was in the car. I was driving the vehicle, and I'm just sitting there, just paying attention, mind you. Justin just starts freaking out. He's like, "No way, Jared! Guess what? Guess what?" We're just like, he's like, "We have a TikTok. It blew up." I'm like, "Wait a second. How? Like, what do you mean it blew up? How much?" He's like, "We're at 50,000 views." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Really?" He called like 2 people up. He called Rob. Rob was a little busy, so he called him back later. He called Carson, the guy who's like
the
guy
person,
on the
yeah,
podcast.
the golf kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No way, I'm famous." I mean, there was no way to react to it, but it was so surreal feeling. Like I just was like, it, like when you put all that hard work into something and it finally pays off.
Uh-huh.
It's like that perfect photo. And speaking of that, you're really into photography. So, how long have you been doing photography for?
Oh, since the 80s.
Since the 80s.
When
What has changed? Like,
well, that was all analog back then. I went to School of Visual Arts part-time in New
What do you
York.
mean by analog?
Film, as opposed to digital.
Oh.
So back in the 80s, it wasn't even a concept yet, the digital, and so I would literally buy a 100-foot roll of film, spool it all myself, shoot it, take it back in the darkroom, process it.
No
Had
way.
it. I still.
That's an experience in itself.
It
Wow.
was, and the School of Visual Arts, you had a community darkroom, so you had 10 enlarges and 10 people working all at the same time, and
wow,
so it was very cool.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now, would you prefer, do you prefer doing that over today? I mean,
So,
today's easier, essentially.
There's a hybrid. I during the pandemic, like everybody, you found your own pet
Yeah.
project. You know what I
Your own
mean?
little
Yeah.
niche.
People, some people were doing sourdough bread or whatever.
Mhm.
I decided to buy a dark room and set up a dark room again.
Oh, wow.
And while I like developing the film, I did not like spending the time printing. Several reasons. It's gotten very expensive. For every sample picture that you develop, costs you $1 or $2 for that piece of paper. You got to do that 6, 8, 10 times till you get it how you want it. You know what I mean? So what I started doing is scanning my film, and then I work on it in the computer, and you don't have any of that. But because it's a negative, you got to inverse it. So because when you look at it, all the darks are white on the film, and all the lights are black on the film. So you got to invert it. Yeah, it's a reversal process is what they call it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So yeah. So and then I was very intimidated by the digital. What were you gonna?
So they didn't have YouTube to help get you into
Oh
this
God,
process
no!
of tutorials and stuff.
Nothing
So
like that.
how do you get into some of the projects? There's no tutorial
that's what I miss
for it.
about New York. When I started shooting digital, when I lived in New York, you literally get out the yellow pages and you look it up, and that's how I found School of Visual Arts. And I went there part-time at night after work, and I took classes. When I used to do a lot of bicycle riding, so when I did that, the New York Bicycle Club, I would ride into Manhattan, meet them in Central Park, we'd drive on the bikes over George Washington Bridge, uptown, over the bridge into Jersey, get breakfast, come back, and then you go home.
Oh, wow.
And so New York had everything, you know. If you wanted to do something creative, you'd look at the museums, the schools, or whatever. Here, there's nothing like that, you know. But part of that,
city.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Part of it is though that, you know, it's evolved past that in a sense too. You know what I mean? You just don't see that kind of thing. I went to 2 different photography clubs here. One was active for a number of years and then it fell apart. And there was another one, there was just like 5, 6 people that would come every week and or every month. And just no participation, you know. People's priorities have changed. You know, they want to spend time with their family, they want to, you know, go out or whatever, eat out, or, you know, they don't want to make a commitment like that. So that's changed. But back to the original thing, when I switched to digital, it was like, and I was telling you this before, I was very intimidated, not only by the camera, but once I learned the camera, or relearned the camera, the software was very intimidating, you know, and it was probably 6 years till I worked in Lightroom. Once I learned that, I was kind of locked into it. And then to go into Photoshop was a big deal for me. It was like the learning curve was huge until you learn it, you know what I mean? And then it's not so big. And now I'm doing that with the video. That's what we were talking about before. I shot a bunch of video and I'm just very intimidated by the software, but I'll get there sooner. I know you and I spoke a lot about this.
We've had a
early
lot
on.
of conversations about just like trying to record and everything, and just like recording itself, not even editing it. And we just got transferred over to a different editing software.
To which?
Adobe Premiere.
Premiere.
So that's going to be a big learning curve for us.
We have to relearn the whole editing
Everything.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is definitely scary.
What were you using before?
We were using CapCut, and because it was just easily accessible, very user friendly, and like some of the stuff they have on there, it's just like they're competing with Adobe Premiere and DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci's the big one.
Yeah, and like they're competing with them just with their free software.
Right.
And I mean,
DaVinci's free too, though.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they make their money on the equipment, you know?
Yeah, they do. But DaVinci, I remember when I logged in, it was so, like, I've never felt so, like, minuscule. I was like, I don't even know where to start.
Maybe that's my problem. I need to go with simpler software.
Yeah, I think
because it's DaVinci that I've been trying to learn.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, no,
I've only seen what a masterpiece looks like on there. Like,
Right.
somebody, like, showed it. I'm like,
Yeah.
you have to stitch it, like, that looks like, and it's all zigzagged all over CapCut. It's just like, insert here, this is the input, this is sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that one's very user friendly. I'd recommend that to everybody. Like,
It's
if
a
you're
good
starting
starting
off,
platform.
yeah.
And was it free?
Yeah, it's free. Now there's
I might
certain
look at
stuff.
it.
There's
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
stuff in CapCut, like they have auto captions. I think that is free, but like if you want to change the template of it, most of them are called the Pro features, so you're gonna have to pay for that.
Right,
but,
right.
I mean, it's $10 a month compared to $30, which is Premiere Pro,
Right.
and like that certain package. But yeah, no, like going in head first. I remember I was just like, that's what we did. We just went head first, and like we'll just make it up as we go. And
I
we're-
tried that and I drowned.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I know.
I essentially drowned my first time too. I was editing a video for my parents. There was our Iceland trip or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I'll make you guys a video. It'll be an hour long. We'll see how it goes. I'll have it done by Christmas. I sat there and it took like, it felt like 3-4 weeks. I sat there like and just sat down.
What did you have, 10
Worked
minutes?
Oh my gosh.
You got
I
an
worked
hour.
from like
Oh,
night
did you?
to day.
Okay.
Yeah, I hit right around an hour. It was like 55. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, there's so much editing, so much stitching, all this, trying to get the sound to sound right.
Was Iceland amazing?
It was beautiful. One of my favorite
It's
places
a
to
dream
travel
trip
to.
of mine.
Yeah.
It really is.
Would
Well,
like
if you're
to
look-
get out there.
If you're
Yeah.
looking to go, I'll be your tour.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking to go at
Give
some
me a
point.
date.
Yeah, that and Yellowstone and Costa Rica. Those are my big bucket list
Okay.
trips.
Yellowstone would be amazing.
I have a friend just came back from there and absolutely loved it. We were talking last night. He was telling me about a buffalo walking down the middle of the yellow line and would not move.
You sure it wasn't a yak? I'm joking.
Yeah, you know, it might be.
People confuse them.
Yeah.
Yeah, people always ask me. They're like, just yakking, like
Yeah.
yakking, like they're all like, no, it's
Oh,
yak.
when I tell
themed.
people about the podcast, like it's just yakking, yak based, mind you.
Yeah,
It's like Yeah, based on like the animal.
Every podcast has to have a theme, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense. It makes it more fun.
Yeah.
He knows. We many people don't know this, but when we were just starting out,
He was our first supporter,
he
basically.
was our first
Yeah.
supporter.
He was up there.
Yeah.
We had a time slot. I don't remember the exact time slot. I would say 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it was 4.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we would
That's
get
when I
a
get out
room-
of work, so that might have been what it was.
Get a room, LSC, bottom
Yeah.
floor, and just
Yeah.
and you were one of the first people to help us, get to this spot, and now
That was
episode 10.
That's before we started recording, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we're
that
still
was in the works before. Like I talked to Pasta Lou about it, and he's like, "Hey, if you have any questions, just talk to me." And he helped me like figure out what cameras and lenses. And
Yeah, I
all
remember
this.
when you first got your camera.
Yeah.
You brought in the class.
And he basically
club.
started this.
Yeah.
No, you guys did great too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is the 10th. I think I've seen 6 or 7 episodes
Yeah.
altogether.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I keep following you.
It's coming along very
Yeah.
nice, slowly, but it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't complain. Like the whole point of this is, just to
Is to have fun and
document our lives.
enjoy.
And, and you obviously enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I said that when I first got here. You know,
Yeah. No. It's
so.
great.
I just love doing this. It's something that I wish everybody would try. Like try it. I mean, it might not be your niche, but do something else that you like.
Not a lot of people like getting behind the camera
But like,
or in front of the camera.
but the reason why I like doing this with a group is because like it's one thing if it's just me and I'm looking at that camera and I get a little nervous. But when I'm with other people, I feel like as if I'm only talking to you guys, and they're kind of like an audience to
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
So it's not as difficult, I guess.
As opposed to staring at the camera and I'm talking to you.
Hear me out.
But so along with photography, I know you like to go to abandoned places,
Yeah.
and let's just hear about some of those abandoned places. You just
So there's a lot of them. It started too also when I was very young. Like the first time I did that, I was maybe 10 or 11 years old.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around the corner from my house, there was, and across the street, there was an abandoned block. And the first building was a doctor's old house that had been a doctor's house. And then there were a couple of garages. There was a tool shop. Down the end of the block was a coal depot. And it was along the tracks. So the tracks would come in, they'd dump the coal into the silos.
Okay.
And we would climb up into the silos, like 5 stories, 4 stories, out on tracks were like, boards were falling out from under your feet.
Holy.
The buildings were, I was just thinking, you could never do this today. You would climb the drain pipe on the outside of the building, but they were like solid, they were
Yeah.
real metal, not the aluminum that they have now,
Yeah.
And so we would climb up the fence onto the little roof, we'd boost one up onto the next roof, and then we'd climb up this pipe and climb in an open window, and we'd go up to the roof, and you could see all of New York City in the distance.
All I know is I
And-
couldn't do that.
Oh, it was amazing. It was like rock climbing, it was like,
Yeah.
you're scaling the outside of a building.
Yeah.
So
Reminds me of
yeah.
like parkour almost.
What's that?
Parkour. No, like they're always like running around. They're like
They
climbing,
jump
jump
on.
off
Jumping,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally
Yeah.
that's
So
what
it-
it is.
Yeah.
By the age of 12.
I was 150 pounds back then. Oh, and young and strong.
What do you mean you're still that?
Yeah. Yeah. I got 150 right here.
Oh man.
Oh.
Still young and
So,
strong though.
Yeah, in mind anyway. But
That's
no,
what counts.
I've always done that. There's you had sent me a list of different places, and I'd
Oh,
been
yeah.
to several of those places. There's one you need to add to that list. It's Letchworth Asylum
Okay.
in New York.
Is that our paranormal ideas?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
We're gonna have to tell them
Yeah,
about that.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, I went up there. It's an abandoned hospital. And literally
Like that's
there's
not
like
scary.
yeah, there's cribs and beds and wheelchairs.
Did it feel different in there when you went in? Like, did it feel haunted?
I don't no. I can't say, but people feel like that, you know what I mean? I just don't think I'm
You're not a
tuned
believer?
into that. Well, it's not that I'm not a believer. I've had experiences where I think I've seen and or heard things that weren't there. I can tell you, I was probably 20 years old. I used to work for this furniture store back in Queens, in Ridgewood, and we had a drop ceiling, and there was Chester, Phil, Eddie, myself, maybe one or two other people that would come in and out, but the four of us were the bulk of it. And we had Christmas parties, and we were fooling around with balloons, and balloon got stuck up on the ceiling, and it just hung there for years, okay? And maybe 5-6 years after that party, the Chester, Phil, and myself came into work, opened it up, the balloon was on the floor. I sat down, I said, I dreamt about Eddie last night. Eddie came in, sat down on my bed, and said goodbye. Chester looked at me and said, I had a very similar dream. He came to me here. Phil looked at us. He had a dream also. No sooner did we finish that conversation, the phone rang. His wife called to say that he died. So I believe, I just don't know that, I'm in tune with it always, you know what I mean?
Whoa, I got chills.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like the realest thing that ever happened, It was like an awakening.
I've actually had a similar experience with something like that. I had a dream, and my mom did too. My best friend, I had a dream that his cousin, my best friend's cousin, actually got killed by a vehicle, and they got in a fight. My mom said she had a dream. It wasn't like that, but someone got their tooth pulled, and a tooth was being pulled out, and she's like, that only ever happens when death. That's what she only has that dream. And literally the next day, my buddy, I call my buddy, or I find out through Facebook or something that his cousin actually passed away in a bar fight and got ran over.
Oh my God. There's definitely something there. I believe that there's more to this life than what we see or understand. And whatever connection that is, I think it bleeds in sometimes, just makes its way into our lives.
Intentionally or unintentionally?
Don't know. I don't know. I'd be curious,
I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah. When I die, if I see Eddie, I'm going to ask him, did you do that on purpose or not,
Well, I think in that case, the answer is yes.
I think so. We were all very close knit, it was just the four of us. And, we spent every day with each other,
Yeah.
Since if I was 20 then, I think I started helping them when I was 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, I knew him for a very long time,
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, well, it's 50 years ago, 40 years ago. But, it's, I just came across Chester, is the guy that owned the store, and I came across his old home phone number, his landline. And so I called it, and he still lives there. His wife answered, and I was like, is this Charlotte? I'm trying to get Charlotte. Yeah, this is Charlotte. You're never going to believe who this is. And he wasn't there, but he called me the next day, and we caught up. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
it
awesome.
really, and I was sure there wasn't going to be a landline anymore, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who has a landline?
Yeah.
I know I lost my landlines 5 years ago.
Yeah, I gave my landline up, it's got to be 20 years ago. Or
we
more.
We gave ours up probably 6, 8.
Yeah, it's something like that. Not too long ago, but
But
yeah.
it was long.
Long enough.
Yeah, long enough. Long enough to not get a call for a while.
Yeah. The call you have made.
Yeah, all you need is no longer existing.
Or is it no longer in service?
No longer in service.
No longer
yeah.
in service.
I've yet to.
Yeah.
I don't call that number. I still have it in my contact stuff.
You ever get the urge to call your old phone number?
I only ever had one phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
All
people
the time.
answer?
No. Go straight to voicemail. And I think it might
Oh, that's
say
interesting.
this number might not be in service. I don't know.
Like, who's this person calling me every day?
I remember
Trying to get an answer.
I remember my old number from 7 years ago by heart still, and I haven't had it in 7 years. 5
I
years.
still remember my childhood. 456-2722.
Yeah.
Uh,
The landline
yeah.
number
The
popped up
landline
in
number.
here.
It's never going to go away.
Yeah.
And I've called it and I've asked for myself and said, no, there's nobody here but I know.
Oh, that's funny. But, for the viewers out there who are watching, we were trying to do a paranormal video with Pasta Lou. And we have a couple ideas of what we want to do, like Eastern State, Harrisburg? No, Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, I was
There's
saying
two,
Harrisburg.
Devil's Den and what was the other one down there? But there's two of them down there
And
in
just
the
like
field.
these haunted places that are so-called haunted. I'm
Can we
scared.
set up a podcast there? I know you're scared. I
You wanna
have
set
no
up a
fear about
podcast?
this. Yes, I would love to do a podcast there.
Why not?
I'm not scared of shit like that.
No, you know.
You're not?
Mm-mm.
So if you see something fly across the room, you're not out.
So
There's an explanation.
before my friend who died, I was sitting on this was big in Queens and Brooklyn when I was growing up. All you did was hang out on the stoop.
Yep.
You know, chat, smoke, whatever.
My
Stoop.
mother did.
Step.
Your
right?
steps, yeah, but it's
They called it a
concrete.
stoop. It
It's a
was my
stoop.
mother, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
He's in New York.
You
My
all
mother grew up in
rural, aren't
Brooklyn.
you? Where you from originally?
Rural area.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
You don't
The
know what a
sticks,
stoop
the
is.
sticks.
You know what handball is?
No.
No. You know what handball is?
It's a new
Handball. It's a game. You hit the ball with your hand against the wall, and it can only bounce once.
There's a couple different
It's a
types.
volley.
There's
Yeah.
like Chinese handball,
Yes,
American
yes,
handball,
that's right.
suicide.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
Yeah.
of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are all things that we did as kids. But we were sitting on the stoop late at night, and we heard something, and we looked back, and it was two of us, and there's a shadow went across, and there was nobody in there. And it was like, I wasn't scared. We went up there. We would, there was nobody there. No doors closed. Nothing happened. Just the shadow that just.
You just saw a shadow
Yeah.
walk across.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's why I'm saying we got to set up a podcast there, because let them do something on camera.
We should do something.
I'm not gonna sit there as you see something walking behind me like this. I'm out.
You can run. I'm gonna stay and
Yeah,
let
no.
him.
Rob's like, I want proof. Prove to me that you're there. Do something
Yeah.
to me. And
Well,
just
that
like,
would be
I'm
me.
out of there.
That would be me. I want to see it.
I
want to see it.
I ain't letting anything happen to me. I'm like, you not touching me.
Deal.
You've seen too many
you record,
Amityville horror movies. And
You record. They always do something to the camera, man. I'll be the
You're in
person.
trouble.
Deal's in trouble. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we
All
should
I'm
do.
saying is I'm the type to go to a paranormal place and egg them on. Like, I will be trying to
So,
get a
We
reaction.
can send him on another trip.
We'll send you on your own
Solo.
adventure.
No, I don't want to go in the
Brought
first
to you
place.
by.
That's all. I'm going
Nice
whether you
knowing
like it
you,
or
Rob.
not.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show up on
We'll
my
make
own
teams.
volition.
It'll be Rob, Pasta Lou.
We're going to have a great time, and they're going to be scared the
Yeah, yeah.
entire time.
Yeah, 'cause
We're going to be having,
These
like,
two don't
campfire.
think anything. They're like, oh no,
No.
paranormal, nothing.
You
So-
could
I'll be sitting
literally
there. I'll be
dress.
like,
This
You'll hear like a plate drop and you'll run the other way. Me and Pastor could see ghosts come in front of us. We'll still sit there and eat s'mores or something.
see, I could never.
This place I was just telling you about, Letchworth Village, is in upstate New York.
Mm.
And I never found this, but my nephew found it. They have a morgue downstairs
Oh,
with the
yes.
big drawers that pull out of the wall and everything.
That is
Movies.
perfect.
So
paranormal
that would
stuff.
be
Yes.
that would be the place to go
That's
and
the
film.
place for us to go. So on the separate
You're giving
teams.
each other the eye.
You guys could be in some, forest or the field. You know what? We'll give you a field so you can at least see it coming.
Oh. Nope. We won't. We'll all go together. We'll all go in.
Oh, it's back to the together.
Yeah.
Dowdy knows he needs
That's
us.
right.
I will say, I will lead. If it comes worst, if it gets scary, I will lead.
I just
don't
got to
know
run
about
faster
that.
than somebody else, right?
We'll bring somebody. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm on the end of that crew.
I heard Gorlock, the famous TikTok star, she wants to do this with us.
Really?
Yeah, she's big.
No, you should do it.
She'll save you, Pasta Lou.
Yeah.
She'll make sure that we're all safe.
Okay.
That's great. That might go viral.
I'm gonna look her up tonight and see.
Don't do it. Don't bother Pasta Lou. It's so bad.
Just one of those famous people that blew up. Just trying to like.
That is the exact
Overnight.
reason why the wrong people are famous.
Right.
It's just out of nowhere. They just blew up overnight.
I'm pretty sure they didn't blow up from good intentions.
She blew up for bad intentions,
Yes.
but it definitely wasn't out of nowhere. Someone saw her.
She embraces it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would too.
And
If I was making $500,000 a year.
She did blow up.
That she did blow up. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, no,
Nowadays.
yeah, exactly. That's my point. So the character that she puts on,
Yeah.
even though she blew up, she succeeded. I respect that. I don't know if I respect the character portrayed, but
Each his own.
yeah, quite literally. It's quite literally.
I think you both would be kind of amused by this, but pasta
Good.
whoa. Pasta Lou.
Cut him off. No more.
There
No
we
more
go.
beer.
Yeah. We were actually
You
talking
gave this?
a while ago about this, and I remember you saying that you initially you've been on a couple of podcasts before, and in one of the talks you actually were talking about. Wow, I just said talks twice, so I'm really going through it. You mentioned how you were a juvenile, like you used to pick up juveniles. Is that?
You make
It was
that
like-
sound like I'm a creeper.
Yeah, no.
No.
Where
Like,
you going
Work
with
with
this?
delinquents.
Yeah, delinquents,
Yes.
like
Yes.
stuff that people don't know about you. So like
So-
the viewers that knew Postaloo from the university, saw you every day, like something that they probably never heard about you.
So when I was young, I had a lot of trouble myself. I had a lot of drinking problems, drug problems, all kinds of stuff. And as I matured, I decided that I wanted to reach out and try to help that demographic. So I took a job. I worked for a church for 5 years with kids, and then I took a job. When I left that, I took a job with a company called Vision Quest, and I think this is what you're talking about. Vision Quest was a program for delinquent teens, adjudicated teens, all in placement by courts, repeat offenders, and I did 2,500 miles on a wagon train, like a covered wagon, 60 mules, a dozen horses, I think it was 9 wagons, 4 teepees. You slept on the ground every night. You got 2 days off a week. They would drop you off in some little town somewhere, and you get a hotel, and that's where you spent your time off. So you got to meet a lot of people. You got to travel a lot, see different things. So yeah, I did that for 14 months and 2,500 miles, and then we did. From there, they had a wilderness camp in South Mountain, Pennsylvania, I think it was called, which is down near, not too far from Gettysburg. That's how I lived in Gettysburg.
Okay.
When I left Vision Quest, I went to a company called Hoffman Homes, which was just outside Gettysburg, and the girl that I was living with at the time, she was working there, and she got me the job there.
Oh wow.
So I literally lived in the first house that was built after the war. So the house next to mine had, the stars where the bullets and stuff hit and the markers. So if you're ever walking down
Wow.
Gettysburg and you look on the buildings, you'll see the big plates are cannonballs and the small ones are musket shots.
You were there.
So yeah. And literally, like, you go out my back door and across, it was a dirt road then, I'm sure it's not anymore. But across the road, and that was the battlefield. It was that close to where I lived.
Backyard.
So yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we did a lot of walking and hiking in there, and
I would love to do that.
oh, it was great. I loved it.
And I've gotten really big into hiking. Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like, oh, I could do hiking, to like, I love it.
Yeah.
So I'd embrace that.
Yeah. No, that's-
Yeah.
It's one of the things I like about my new job. They got 1,200 acres. There's 2 caves that I'm gonna find. But people that have been going there since the 60s and 70s told me about it.
All right.
And there's one that I know of. It's in the ground. There's a river. The river goes down into the ground. You see the whirlpool going like this. And then you walk over a little bit, and there's a hole in the ground, and the river runs underground, and then comes up maybe a quarter mile, half mile away, and it continues. And that cave was used as part of the Underground Railroad during the Emancipation. Well, before the Emancipation, but yeah.
That's a lot of land, though. I didn't realize it was that big.
Yeah. Yeah, I lied to somebody. I told them it was 12,000 acres.
that'd be a
But
rock
still,
track.
1,200 is still a lot of land.
That's a lot of
you
land,
know?
especially to
Yeah.
travel on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a lot of new places to explore.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Different scenery.
Yeah, yeah.
Start of a new adventure.
And every place I drive, there's like, it's a lot of parks and, game lands and things like this, a lot of waterfalls in the area. So
Oh, that's beautiful.
I got my photography destinations listed for, a while ago.
That's good.
So, yeah.
And I remember you saying that you're looking at different equipment now.
So my old Sony, it was a 77 Mark II. The viewfinder on the back died. I could still use the camera. I can still look through the EVF, but I can't see and I can't use the flip up. So if I'm doing macro and I'm down on the ground, I literally have to lay my head on the ground to look through to see the composition. And they won't repair it. It's like, they told me it's obsolete. I said, it's not obsolete. You're just trying to get people to switch over.
They want them to upgrade.
Yeah,
To get the money.
So I'm faced with the choice. I have a huge investment in lenses. So do I buy that type of camera secondhand, or do I just bite the bullet, sell everything, and go mirrorless, which is what they want you to do. Sony doesn't make regular digital reflex cameras anymore. They've discontinued it. So sooner or later, it was going to happen. I just would have preferred it was later.
Yeah.
I was looking, you had mentioned the FX or...
The FX30.
Yeah. It's like $8,000 or something like that, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. That's what you want for this, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that'd be a dream one day.
Yeah. So
That's like pro studio.
yeah, I was looking at the cameras, and with the lenses to recreate something to similar to what I have now, I'm looking between $10,000 and $12,000, and it's like I can't do that. I just can't bite that bullet right now. So I might do a camera in one lens and then switch it up, which is what I did with this. When I started with digital.
Yeah.
And then something else is going to come along, and they're going to want you to upgrade to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten this question a lot, but since we're talking about cameras, what would you say to someone who's trying to start photography and is trying to ease into it, but they're kind of scared and they don't know where to start? Like, do you have a starter camera?
Just start.
Just start.
Just start. It doesn't even matter. That's that intimidation factor that we were talking about before, and you just jump in, even if it hurts.
Yeah, even
But,
if you
yeah.
won't drown.
Yeah.
You have to break that comfortability. That's the thing. You get really comfortable with doing something for a while, but as soon as you go outside of your limits and okay, I want to try something. I want to try biking, photography,
Right.
skiing. Literally, you break that and you might fall into something that you just really love.
Sure.
I fell into hiking. I was like, I don't want to put that stress on my body. Found out I loved it, and then compete with the camera. I remember when he first got into it, he was just kind of taking photos here and there, and then he just was taking photos all the time. He was like, yo, you want to go do something on campus, take photos? Then Justin got a camera, he joined them. They were taking photos all over and stuff. But you just got to break that comfortability.
It is, and that all of life is like that. You build a comfort zone, and you got to push through it to be able to grow. So whether it's photography or video or biking, when I biked, I had my stepsister. I bought a bike, and I think I rode 10 miles, and she laughed at me. I was like, "What are you laughing at?" She, I could do 10 miles. First of all, she smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. She wasn't biking 10 miles. But I took that as a challenge, and within the year, I was doing 100 miles. Oof. And then when I said that to her, it was like, so now what are you going to say? I took that as a challenge, So, I went 10, 15, so you kind of get comfortable there. You push a little further. Before you know it, you're doing big things, It was the same thing with the camera, whether it was starting in the darkroom, then I learned that, and then digital, and I learned how to use a digital camera. Then I had to learn how to do the software, and then I was intimidated by Photoshop. But once I learned that, you find yourself doing things you never thought you could.
Yeah.
And you just keep pushing your limits, and that's how you grow, and you better yourself like that. So.
Yeah. I remember when I first came to university, and I was like sort of into cameras. I always had like a dream of doing something with a camera, but I didn't know where to start. And I just remember like I went to the club, and like you guys were like, here, like just borrow a camera, take a camera, go and have a fun weekend with it, and bring it back, of course. But like just enjoy it. And ever since then, I was like, oh, I really want a camera. Like I've always wanted one, and it just seemed like a dream to have one. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it, because there's no better time to get a camera.
Yeah, no. Yeah, what are you gonna wait for?
Yeah. Because if you wait too long, then you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna push it off next year. It's like kicking the can down the road.
That's exactly it.
So.
What did you?
I
kick a
made
can?
that comment last episode. I don't remember what we were talking about.
It was about the government.
Oh.
Like how, like if, with how much national debt we have, and how the government's like, oh, we'll pay that off, and then they just keep kicking it down the road. He says it's kicking the can down the road.
They do it with everything. They kick the can down the road.
When I was growing up, the deficit was like billions. Millions, billions. I remember Clinton, I think, became president, balanced the budget, and there was a surplus. Okay? And then Bush, I think after him, spent all the money on Iran and Iraq, and we've never caught up since. It's insane. And now we're talking trillions. I mean, it's, and not a couple of trillion.
No, over 30 trillion.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yes.
It's absurd.
That people like to say the difference between million and billion is so crazy, right? So I used this example in an episode. A million seconds was about 10 days ago, about a week. A billion seconds was about where the pyramids were made.
Really?
No.
Oh.
A billion seconds ago was about 4,000 years ago.
Really?
Yes. I said this in an episode.
I thought you said it was
Yeah.
19 something. 1940.
No, I'm pretty sure it's around the pyramids. 99% sure. But anyway,
Still impressive.
Whatever it is, it's a
billions
long
and
time.
trillion is even crazier.
Right.
That's even crazier.
That's
so,
when the dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah.
And that's how
No,
much debt we are.
We haven't been
Yeah.
around for a trillion years.
Oh, not us. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah.
It goes with the name,
Earth.
you know?
Yeah.
It goes with the name.
The trillion
We just-
seconds. The
We
trillion
just
seconds.
yap.
A trillion seconds ago.
Yap or yak?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna have to look that up. Look it up, Kapil. A billion seconds ago was when?
I want a trillion.
And then
That's
we'll go to
fascinating.
So I'm
trillion.
telling
Then
you,
you
it's
do a trillion.
1940.
I don't think it's 1940.
I'm waiting for it.
31 years.
31
You're
years.
off by-
We're both off.
So what's
So
a
when
trillion?
was it?
The one's it might be trillion then. A trillion might be the
30
pyramids.
years ago would be 1990 something. Right,
1
94.
trillion seconds is over 31,000 years.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
what you were thinking, yeah.
Well,
Still not
not
dinosaurs, though.
Still
Yeah.
not dinosaurs.
No.
No, still not.
Wait,
Wait,
how much debt are we in, though? Like, the exact debt?
30 trillion, you
It's
said?
over 30. I don't know
Oh.
what the exact number is.
Okay, so that's lovely.
You ever see that clock in New York that shows the deficit and it's just constant?
Really? They have
Oh
a
God,
clock?
yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. I don't go to New York enough, so I wouldn't know.
We have it.
I'm looking to.
A quintillion seconds ago is equal to 31.7
That's probably
giga years.
dinosaurs.
So
years.
Giga years.
yeah,
Giga Chad. Giga
that's not
years.
even like that's not even billion. We skip trillion. Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Giga years.
I've
Alright,
never-
can I real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
What's the U.S. national debt?
It's
Don't-
30.
just don't go into search history.
$35.21 trillion
Oh my
as
God.
of August 28th. Literally
Yesterday.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yesterday
It
there
just
was
keeps
a
going up.
survey,
Yeah.
I guess. They're like, all right, it's at 35.21.
Yeah.
No more, no less.
So I've been watching, and for no particular reason, All in the Family. Okay, have you ever watched that?
Yes.
Archie Bunker and Edith
Probably
Bunker.
is your guy.
Okay, well, that's not the important part. The important part was one of the characters accepted a job moving from New York to California as a professor, and he was going to be paid $21,500 a year. I Googled to see what that would be today, and it was like 120,000, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's just constant inflation. Not even, you know what I mean? I think they said it was something like 3.8% inflation over the course of that many years.
Yeah.
So I mean,
We were talking about that too. We were talking about a Subway, Subway $5 footlong is now $12.
yeah. I went to freaking, and I never eat fast food. I went to Burger King yesterday for the first time in years. Cost me $15 for a burger, a small fry, and a shake. I was like, I ain't coming back here again,
That's like that for every place.
Yeah.
Every
It
place
is
McDonald's
very
is crazy.
I could have went to Little Pizza Heaven, had a freaking big dinner.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Oh, Boulevard Avenue and Market Street.
So it's close.
Oh, yeah. God, you should go there. Tell him you know me. Really?
We will.
Really.
We actually had Pasta Lou on our podcast.
Check it out
Yeah.
at Just Yakkin.
Yeah.
If you like
Yeah.
to subscribe. Sorry.
You know, it'd be cool.
Oh, God.
It's a little shout at like Elon Musk and like what's his name's podcast. They literally ordered a pizza. They're just like, yeah. They're just
Oh,
like-
get the guy to come in, get on.
Did you ever see the Joe Biden interview? They're like, "You bring in ice cream," and he's like, and then literally 2 seconds later, someone brought an ice cream on tray. I was like, "There's a person for that."
Yeah, there's everything there.
Must be nice, huh?
Yeah, it must be nice. But the long and awaited question everybody's been waiting for.
Well, we did tease it, and we
Yeah.
may or may not have spoiled it. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
Is Pasta Lou going to continue working at the university?
No.
Do you want to
Sorry.
give a little?
I do.
let's get a
Here,
headline here.
here.
Let's get a little headline going.
That camera
That
right
camera
up there.
right up there?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been there almost 20 years, 19 years. And it was a tough decision. It was difficult. But they just made it so that I couldn't say no. I'm making almost twice the money. Living on the premises. They feed me. They pay my insurance in full. There was just no downside to it other than missing people or friends or
Yeah.
the interaction that I have
Yeah.
developed with you people. Yeah, and I hate the way that it came about. They had hired a woman. I applied for this job last year, and they had filled it already. They had a date of January 15th or something like that, but it was still listed, so I figured, well, maybe they didn't fill it. So I sent the application and a resume, and they didn't call me for a couple of months. I didn't think twice, but they offered me a summer job, which was good. And the woman that they had hired to do the job did not know what she was doing. So after a few weeks, they literally asked me if I thought she should stay or go, and I first of all, I got a conflict here, but I don't think she's doing right by you. She was running to Walmart to buy food to cook for people, which was an hour away. There's Restaurant Depot. She was driving an hour and a half each way to pick up food there. It was like, you can't do that,
Yeah.
And then she was feeding the kids, the daycare that they have. She would make cheese enchiladas, cut them into quarters, and that was your portion. A quarter of an enchilada. And I was like, you can't, So they asked me to do it a little bit, and I said, yeah. I said, I'll fill in, the rest of the summer for you. And I did it for a couple of weeks, and they offered me a sweet gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
So,
couldn't say no to it.
I couldn't. But it kills me because I didn't want to just drop the ball here.
I mean, you're always welcome back. Like, you could always come back to campus
Oh,
and say
I
hi.
know.
Everybody misses
I
you,
know. I know.
You're like a celebrity there.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people that you've like impacted when
We're
they
on
see
Yik
you.
Yak again.
Yeah.
We're not associated. I know the name sounds like it, but we're not associated.
Legal disclaimer.
Yes.
Your lawyer told you to say that, right?
I am the lawyer.
But yeah, they're like, I remember, I forget what it exactly said, but it was like, where's Pasta Lou at? And then
I saw that on Monday.
Yeah, people were like, they're wondering where you're at, and then I think someone said Pasta Lou's out here. This place is really falling down.
I will say this: when this episode eventually does come out,
Soon, it will
Which-
be out soon.
which hopefully soon, there will be a lot of people that are going to jump to see what's going on because there was a lot of chatter, you know. I know Yik Yak.
What are people saying?
A lot of people came up to me and they asked me, they're like, I saw a couple people I knew on First, and they're like looking over and they're like, where's Pasta Lou? I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, oh no, if he's gone, this place is really going down. Like, and my buddy, one of my buddies, I actually did tell him, and I said, you know,
We found the leak.
The leak is right here.
I'm the leak to my own house.
Okay.
I can trust my housemates, thankfully. But
Yeah.
he said that was the only reason why he got pasta. So
Yeah.
he said he doesn't like the way other people made it down. And I've said this to you before, because you don't overcook it and you don't, you know, burn it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember getting it, and I got it from someone else one time. It was so disgusting, and I literally was saying to Pasta, I'm like, I can't deal when you're not the one doing the pasta. Well, let me tell you, I'm never getting the
appreciate
pasta for the next 2 years.
Hopefully they find somebody else who can do it.
They hired a very old guy, or at least that was the stand-in guy that was running, you know, your market, your little
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
There was a older gentleman, white beard.
Have yet to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not the same. And I'm not
the-
trying to drag down the mood, but you definitely were up. Like, everybody knew you. And
So
it's kind of sad
celebrity.
to see, like, some of the freshmen, like, they're like, or all the freshmen are like, who's Papa?
Who's it?
Oh, I actually had an encounter with that. I was telling what's it called, freshmen. I'm an OA, me and Justin, mind you, an orientation assistant. And we were telling the students, like, oh yeah, like we're talking about campus, first floor, like the lore, everything.
Yeah, this is before we found out, like, when
Then I
you
was
when you
leaving.
gave us the call, and we were like, yeah,
Yeah.
Pasta Lou.
Yeah.
And we're like, Pasta Lou. But
But yeah, no, I was on campus. I was up in the commuter lounge. I'm just chilling there with a couple people. And they're just like, I never got to meet the man himself. The one guy came here to see.
Yeah.
And they're commuters, so they know. A couple
I've had
people,
people come to me that after 4 years they said, I came here because I met you during my tour, or
Oh,
you did this for
Yes.
me. You know, I have people that came back. There's this one couple they met here at the U. They came back like a year or two after they'd been married. They came back a few years later, they had a baby. They came back a couple years later, they had a second baby and a toddler. They came back a few years after that, and they got two boys that are, 5 and 9 or whatever. You know, it's like, it's hard to believe that, you know somebody like that for that. And they always make a point to come see me, you know. It makes you feel good to know that you touch somebody like that, you know, that they want to come back.
you
and
made
see
an
you.
impact on someone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's just awesome to see, because you definitely made a huge impact on everybody on that campus. And I mean, if it wasn't for you, this probably wouldn't be here.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You
were pretty gung ho.
I was pretty on it, but no, like, with the help of everything, like you're like, okay, well, this camera, and then you helped me so much with the lens.
Yeah.
You even gave me a website that I actually got the lens off of,
Mhm.
and like you kind of helped piece by piece put this together.
Yeah.
And I know you don't want the whole credit, but
No,
you're definitely up there.
I appreciate it, and I'm just glad I could help. You know, I'm glad you did it. I hope you take it all the way.
yeah,
I hope
For
that
whatever
we have
that
you
is.
back soon.
yes,
Much more successful of a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we'll definitely, and we'll have a paranormal video.
Yeah.
Well,
if
well,
you're
that's-
around, Pasta Lou, you know what?
Listen,
I'm
we need to
saying-
set up a date for that.
Let's say
Letchworth.
he has to be around
Yep.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do the morgue one.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
Um,
It's either that or the hospital.
all I know is
Or
I'm
Smurl.
actually
I
bringing.
haven't been to that one. I would
I
do that.
would do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounded
Yeah.
interesting. The cribs all there. Ooh, that's
That's- yeah.
scary,
Yeah.
but up my alley.
All I'm saying is I'm bringing holy water to these places. I am not kidding.
Power of Christ compels
We were watching a paranormal video. The guy had a salt gun, like, and not an assault, but a salt gun.
Salt, yeah.
Yeah, he
They
literally
used to
shoot
chase
it.
us in the cemeteries with those. They did.
I'm like, what's that gonna do? He's just like, this ward's away, it goes. I'm like,
And he
short.
started shooting it at the distance.
Yeah.
Every time I heard like a little noise, he just turned around and just bang, The ghost, they go.
All that's going to do is hurt the person who's trying to trick you into believing he's a ghost.
So-
That's a Scooby-Doo special, you know?
It was just
Uh,
something funny on YouTube. I don't know.
We'll definitely check those places out, and we'll get maybe a podcast.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, do you have any final things you want to say to the audience out there?
Just that I'm going to miss everybody. I, wish I could have spent a week to say goodbye, but it just wasn't meant to be. Yeah, it's been a privilege.
Yeah.
It
Nice.
still is a privilege.
It's a privilege for us to have
Yeah,
you.
no, it's a
Thank
privilege
you.
for us to have
Likewise.
you, and just to have met you,
Yeah.
and it's
No.
just everything. And this isn't it. There's gonna be a lot more stuff with Pasta Lou.
Yeah, so we're very lucky now that we've talked about doing this. We're gonna have our second guest, or first time a guest comes on the second time.
Oh yeah.
We do this paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Paranormal might
Next
not make
episode.
it. Might not make
May
it.
not make it to
Next
the
episode.
maybe.
No, stop being a bitch. Next episode.
No, we're thinking like personal page.
Personal pages would make more sense, but we'll.
This is like just yakking.
yeah,
That's like
everything
just on the
podcast.
road.
I don't know about that. I feel like the viewers are gonna want that. You're gonna have to let us know in the comments if you want
check out
a
the second
paranormal
page. I don't know.
podcast from either a hospital, a morgue,
Little places I want to go.
Gettysburg, a fucking forest, wherever you tell us, we'll do it.
I don't know how we're gonna do a podcast in the forest with no electricity. I don't know how we're
Batteries.
gonna do it. Wait, actually, how are we gonna? No, we'll just bring the camera and we'll just do it that way.
Lots of batteries.
Yeah, lots
There
of
will only
batteries.
be one camera angle. I know that's
Right,
hard
right.
to,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be a
Fair.
crazy edit.
Guys, I don't know if we have enough.
What was the name of that movie with the Blair Witch Project, where they were running with the camera all the
yeah.
time and the screen was always shaking?
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be like.
Yeah.
We're gonna have him in front.
I ain't going in front. You know what's crazy
No,
about
running
me?
away.
The one thing, the reason why I want to maybe be a videographer for the ghost videos, because there's always one person in the front leading, they're second, and then someone always has to be last. I'm not last.
Yeah.
I'm not last.
I'll volunteer to be last. How about that?
I'll volunteer to lead. That
Wherever nobody wants to be, I'll be there.
I just want to see it. That's
Yeah.
my thing. I just want to confirm that it's real.
I would fucking go for a ghost or something just to pop out. It scared the shit out of you. That would make my year.
Rob, you're the kind of guy that's gonna chase it. Like you were saying, you went up there, look at the shadow,
Yeah.
see what it was.
Yeah.
But wait,
I was
okay,
gonna
wait.
see if I could
Well,
touch them.
Before we wrap up, like, what would you guys say? Like, I'm done. Like, I'm
Through.
not going there. Like, what would make it so that you guys like run
No?
in a sense?
I don't know that I would. Not much. Not
I'm
much.
sorry, say that question.
Nothing would make you run.
What would make you run? At
Like
what point would
anything.
you run?
Again. If it came towards me with a gun, I'd run.
A ghost with a gun? Are you kidding me?
Yes,
That's not a ghost.
You don't know? You've never seen one.
Me feeling it like grabbing, I'd call it there. But I'll like start dashing or whatever. But
I'd be turning to see who it was. If
Yeah,
if
then I would
something-
say,
I'd be
I
like,
actually have like a bad back. Could you just crack that?
Yeah.
he's all talk. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, I think you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just. Oh, I see something. If I see that thing move, like,
Yoink, Scoops!
I'm like, I'm out.
Run.
I know that morgue's gonna be the death of me, quite literally. Sorry, that's bad. That's sorry. I'm sorry.
Never apologize.
But,
No, but if we do the morgue, that would be sick. Are there still body bags? Like, what are we working with?
I never found it. My nephew found it, so I know it's there. I have a friend of mine who she brought lights like these, lit the whole thing up, pulled the drawer out, laid down, folded her hands like this, and they took a picture in it, in one of the drawers.
Guess what
So
we're
I
doing?
know it's there. I've seen it,
We're-
but not in person.
That's
Oh, that's-
You took a
literally
picture
gonna
in
be the
someone's
cover.
drawer.
That's gonna be the cover.
Not in someone's drawer. It was
It's not
used by many
someone's, it's a-
people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people's drawers.
Actually, nope. It's none of their drawers. They were all not alive for it.
It's okay.
She's the most real person to be in that drawer.
That's right.
She got it. She's probably one of the only people to willingly get on that. That's how we're gonna take the picture. You're gonna take a picture. We're gonna line up, all of us, each
We're
on
not.
one.
We're not lining up for anything.
All right, I'll do
Yeah,
it.
pull out 4 drawers. Okay, 3 drawers, and you can be
Take
the
the
camera
picture,
guy.
The
who's
ghost will be behind you.
Yeah, and then no.
Exactly.
No,
The ghost comes up behind you. We're like,
That's right.
yoinks!
You're the one that said it. The camera guy's always the first one to go.
I would love if we were taking a picture and I just see like 1 second I'm looking at you, you're looking, and then the next second the camera's still in the air, about to drop, and you're just gone, just out of sight.
Catch the camera.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's gonna be a scary.
College
idea.
student goes missing in a morgue after filming a podcast.
Yeah. Left behind.
Sources say he vanished through
Everybody,
thin air.
everybody ran.
I
I'd love
for
to be
you
in one of the
before I left.
drawers. We'd look in the drawers for you. Don't worry.
I know something would happen to me.
Well, we'll find out soon enough.
Yep, can't
Oh,
wait.
man.
Can't wait. It's gonna be great.
Well, you guys, you want to wrap?
Yeah, that's
All
nice.
right.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this, guys.
I.
Good time.
Hey, thank you
Absolutely.
again,
Absolutely. Thank you for everything.
Now,
Thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
guys.
and
You too.
thank you to the viewers out there who've watched since day one, including Pasta Lou.
10th
Yeah.
episode.
10th
Let's
episode,
just,
new milestone.
Thank you everyone that's subscribed. Thank you everyone that's watched an episode.
How many subscribers you up to?
86.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We're 14 away from 100, so by the time we do the paranormal that episode, we're at 100. Justin will be in front of everyone and have to walk backwards. Those are the rules. I didn't make them up.
I fell down the stairwell to the morgue.
You're just gonna have to like record us walking this way. He's out already. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See
you,
you next
Pasta Lou.
episode, and hopefully we'll have a paranormal expert. Peace, guys.